All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. Today, we've got one of my new custom builds out here on the rocks. I took this out for a test drive recently, and it didn't exactly hit all the marks I was looking to hit. So I made a couple changes, and now it's time for its debut video. I haven't driven it with the changes yet, so we're gonna see firsthand how she does. What are the changes I made? I changed the shocks to let them articulate a little more freely. I ended up going with some Red Cat shocks off the Ascent. I completely respringed them. I took the springs out. I took the springs off the outside because they had internal springs. And then I just put some Traxxas Mini T Traxxas Mini T springs on there. And we're gonna see how that does. We got the Desert RC 3D printed shock cups, spring cups that drop it down lower than most shock cups do. So shout out Desert RC, check out their website. What else have we got on this truck? Because this is a full custom build. Rock Pirates RC Kraken carbon chassis. You can actually see that poking through the hood there. This is the first time I've ever done a body where I've actually cut it and slammed it all the way down super low. Got Vanquish F10 straight axles. We got the Vanquish behind the axle servo mount. Servo in there is a Reefs direct power 888 servo, capable of 4S, so it's got 4S. Underneath, we may be able to take a peek. Yep, we got a Holmes Hobby Polar 400 motor. I've got that wrapped in some Lexan so that no rock gets up in there and snags any of the motor up there. Got the Rock Pirates RC blank Kraken skid, Vanquish drive shafts, Hardcore RC link kit. Again, got those 90mm shocks. Got the hardline bed in here, and then we've also got the Rock Pirates roof rack that I went ahead and used as a headache rack. Now, I stole that idea from my friends over at B&B RC, and then I backed it with a piece of Lexan that I painted gold. So what else we got in here? We got our SL3D squid inserts. You can see our sticker there and in the bed, and that's what's filling up these J Concepts Tusk tires. I have not run a set of Tusks ever. I don't like the way they look, but I've heard a bunch of people talk about how good they are, and I finally found a set in stock. Holy crap, J Concepts, get your shit together, get some tires in stock. Sorry guys, but that's how I feel about it. Then we got some Vanquish nice machetes here. Are those the machetes? I believe so. We got the inner slim IFR gold ring. This little gold ring just keys into the back side of the beadlock ring there. We went full scale hardware. We got scale hardware on the outside and on the hubs. Vanquish 475 hubs, I believe. Rock Pirates RC comp bumper in the front and in the rear. Got Power Wagon sliders, which fit the J Concepts creeper cab very well as well. We went with the Holmes BR Mini ESC, and that pretty well covers it. I forgot my dang controller for this truck, so today we swapped out to the Fordice RTR controller. I happen to have my Fordice with me today, so thank you, Vanquish, for saving my trip. So I don't have to drive all the way home to get my controller. Outside of that, I think that pretty well covers it. Let's go hit the rocks and see how she does. One last detail, we got SSD brass in the front, and we got the brass rings in the Vanquish wheels only on the front, and we've got a double overdrive front ring and pinion, and then we got an underdrive ring and pinion in the rear, so this thing should have about 35% overdrive. Let's hit it. So a lot of brand new tires out of the package are very tacky and sticky. The J Concepts tires are very much so that way. So like you can take two tires when they're brand new, stack them on top of each other, pick up the top tire, and it'll pick up the bottom tire with it. To me, it doesn't show any kind of capability of the tire. And for me, particularly me, because I drive out here where the sand is, see how that rear tire looks right now? It's covered in sand. So these guys just haven't touched sand yet. But to me, when they're super tacky like that, that's all that happens. And so then sand sticks to my tires, and then it acts like little marbles for the first, 30 minutes drive time because it's all oily and tacky. So I'm not a huge fan of when tires do that. Some people think that really means that they're going to perform. In my experience, it hasn't really shown anything really. So I do know that I've driven the J Concepts green compound before, and it does well out here. It seems to do better the more scrubbed in it gets. Now, speaking of being scrubbed in, the J Concepts Tusk tires are known to be really good, but they're very thin and they have a short life expectancy. So we'll see how long it lasts out here on the red rock. Yeah, see, my tires are just loaded with sand. And if it's wet out here, the sand sticks to your tires, and it's never good for traction. So I can't imagine the tires being tacky loaded with sand is good for traction. But so far, pulling off a difficult line really easily. I haven't done a straight axle performance truck in a little while, so doing the Kraken, which is the Rock Pirates RC STX10 Pro replacement chassis. You can do full custom builds like this with that chassis, so you get a little bit of an angled skid, lightweight with the carbon fiber, and support our boys at Rock Pirates RC. So I built this truck kind of intentionally really low, which is why I cut the body down low. I want this thing to be like a vertical hill killing machine. And the hardcore RC links I bought were for the SCX10 Pro, and it set my wheelbase right around 12.3 to 12.4. So I may end up throwing some longer rod ends for the rear in the back and try and stretch that out to maybe 12.5 to 12.8. 12.8's getting a little long for 4.75s, but if you're building it for a specific application like going up big steep climbs, it can help you. Man, it is a little touchy on 4S here. This also isn't the normal controller I run, and I had Expo set with my normal controller, which I think you can do with the Vanquish RTR controller. I just didn't take the time, as I don't intend on keeping it this way. I just needed a Band-Aid so I could make this video while I was out here. Doesn't quite want to do this one. Oh. So I did scale this truck out, and it's got a 60-40 weight balance with the brass knuckles and the brass rings in the wheels. There it is. And then it's got that 30% overdrive, so it's kind of hitting all the marks of like what a performance truck should be at, in my opinion at least, kind of the standards. The RTR weight was, it's 5 pounds 4 ounces without a battery. So you're 5 pounds 7 ounces maybe with a battery. I'm running an 850 milliamp 4S pack, so it's a little brick basically. Okay, let's figure this out. Got the front up. It's a delicate balance of keeping that front down enough. There, come on. There it is. Yeah, just had to get that a little bit different view. Well, Sydney, should we tell the guys what this truck's really for? So this guy, my intention behind building it, this is going to be a workhorse for my YouTube channel. And I want to start doing tire tests and comparisons, and this is going to be the truck to do that. So I've been really thinking about how I could do tire tests, because one of the issues I have in Sand Hollow is that the rocks are very sensitive to weather. If it's cold, particularly how much moisture is in the rocks, because these rocks are porous, and as it rains, these will literally load up with water. Now, that really messes with traction. Oh yeah, don't fall off here, guys. And so it's been difficult trying to figure out a way that I could do a tire test throughout the year and continually add like a catalog of tire tests and compare them against each other. Until the other day I realized I'm just gonna do head-to-head tire tests. So it'll be like Crawler versus J-Concepts Tusk, and run them the same day on the same obstacles with the same conditions. So then at least we'll just have a head-to-head winner out of the two. Now I'll get a feel for which ones do better and worse over time, but in each video we will have a comparison and a winner. Ooh, that's getting a little tippy there on the edge of a cliff. So what do you guys think about that? Does that sound cool? I wanted to have a truck that was capable, and this one should do that, I would think. I'm gonna try and get just a little bit of fine tuning done on it. Like I say, this is my second run with the truck, so that's why we're not doing it already. But once I get it set, I don't want to change the truck. And usually I have performance trucks and I sit there and mess with them all the time. Because like my class 2 builds, I tinker and tweak things as I go through the competition season. Constantly looking for that edge to try and make them better. And so one other part of that is that I'm going to have 2 sets of the same wheels, of these Vanquish wheels, so I can just swap wheels and tires while I'm out there on the trail, and it will be run on the same truck. Another issue I've been having considering doing this tire testing is like, well, what do I do for inserts to try and make it as fair as possible? And so I talked to my friends over at SL3D RC, and they're on board with helping make this all possible. So for every tire possible, we're going to be running SL3D squid inserts for the testing. And I've already got a few sets on hand, so that should simplify shipping at least. And we should be able to run quite a few sets of tires before I need to ask for any more. And then it just gets down to the fun part of choosing tires to compare against each other. So obviously we're going to be testing out some Proline tires. That's my longtime favorite. Prolines and the G8 compound. Yeah, look how stable this truck is on a steep climb like this. I've had my Ascent and VRD Carbon on this and a couple other trucks, but this thing is just chewing at it and staying planted. Now, one thing about running this truck slammed like this and without portals is our belly height's pretty low. So it bellies out pretty hard. Well, we got that smooth Rock Pirates Kraken blank skid. And that's angled as well on their chassis. It's got an angled skid in this truck. It's not too aggressive. I think it's like 3 or 4 degrees. Yeah, I didn't want to bump that, but it's what it needed there. So outside of Proline, we got J Concepts on the truck currently. And this truck's performing really good with these tests, by the way. I'm liking how it's driving right now. The shocks are definitely better too. We're gonna have Pitbull tires. Sky RC carries Pitbull tires. I've got some Power Hobby Grabber pin tires. I've got some Jetco tires. And you know, the list goes on and on. We can test whatever the hell we want. Ooh, that was a nice move there. The way that suspension worked and loaded and unloaded. Holy cow, just monster trucked up that. Made that look easy. No reverse necessary. Damn. I've driven that a few times on camera recently and I've struggled to get it super clean. That was super clean. First time on that obstacle with this truck too. That made me feel good right there. And that's not so much tire as much as it is positioning and nailing the line. We finally nailed the line there. Man, the 4S just makes this touchy. I really need some expo in this thing. No. I had this issue the other day with the BFGs. I had to get the rear off that ledge before it would grab and go. Yeah, it'll drive up right here. So there we go, truck's working. And this is gonna be our tire test mule. So hopefully you guys are excited to see some testing and comparisons. Now, as part of the test, I would definitely like to have a standardized set of obstacles to compare against each other. Now, occasionally I might change one or two in the video, but I want to like run the same lines with different tires and compare them. Now, every video on the head-to-head will be exactly the same. I may change up an obstacle occasionally for the tires in the video, but the tires in the video will run the exact same lines. Does that make sense? So like I'll have 3 videos, maybe there's 1 or 2 different obstacles in each video, but each time they'll all run the exact same lines in that single video. Yeet! So I want to keep the obstacles in this area, so it'll probably be some stuff you've already seen. That's okay, but I want to run different types of tire test obstacles. Like we're going to do a side hill test, we're going to do, you know, a ledgy climb test, and we're going to do a vertical flat face raw traction test, stuff like that. So hopefully we get to learn about each tire as we go. This truck, as set up right now, does seem to be doing particularly good. So these tusks are working really well. And I've got some J Concepts The Hold tires. That's their name of them, The Hold. So, you know, we could even do same brand, same compound, just different tread pattern comparisons. So like a crawler in G8 versus a trencher in G8, stuff like that. Now I've been thinking and wondering if I want to do an entire bracket to start and do like 12 different tires, and then there's a winner in each video, and then it moves on to the next round until finally it's whittled down to the top 2 tires, and then we'll name the best tire out of that bracket. Now it's going to take time to do this, and the video releases, we'll have to see how the schedule works out, but it won't all be in a row. I don't want to make everything about the tire test, you know. Sometimes new products come out, sometimes I just want to go have fun with a buggy. And that's the other part. I want to keep the same rig testing things. But I do also want to have a buggy in the lineup to test cut and shut treads. Or just other comparative buggy sized tires, you know. Ah, that hurt. So I hope that sounds like a good entertaining series of videos for you guys. Also educational. And we will find out more about some tires. I'm kind of a tire nerd. I like knowing which ones are better or where their advantages lie, or even just the different looks, you know. I'm pretty picky about the looks of my tires, which is why I haven't owned a set of Tusks, but their reputation precedes them and they're known to be very, very good. I'm curious how much of it is the Tusk itself, or just people gave the Tusk a chance because they liked the look of them, and maybe it's just J Concept green itself that is the winning combo. We can find out with more testing. But in the bracket lineup, I do want to leave, like, you know, the big dog comparisons. I want to split them up, so I don't want to immediately do crawler versus Tusks. It may come down to it in the end, which could be interesting to watch them battle others and earn their spot in the finals before finally competing against each other. If that in fact happens, maybe it won't. I've never even tried this climb before. Ouch. So if you guys have any suggestions of what to do in the tire tests, which tires you want to see, or other ideas about how to actually test them, definitely let me know. Because there will be variables. You know, this isn't a science lab. We're out here in the desert. Weather changes, temperature changes, lots of little things happen, but this is for being an RC nerd, so it's okay if it's not perfect. And ultimately, this testing really only applies to the exact rock that I'm on. So that's okay too. Maybe your river rock has different results, but it'll still be fun to watch and compare and see what does what. Never tried this before. Uh-oh. Try not to beat up this truck too bad on its first run. Man, she's just a darty little guy. That didn't even make sense. Ooh, that skid cleared just perfectly through there. That's why you want that 60% bias in the front, pull you up and over the ledges. You know, and after this first drive, maybe we'll switch to a brushless setup. Maybe we'll do something censored, a little more super crawlable, like a Fusion. I don't know. What do you guys want to see? See a revolver in it? Something that can just give me that low, consistent, controlled wheel speed, which I was hoping this BR Mini would deliver, but hasn't. Maybe I just need to tune it, but it's not exactly as smooth and slow controlled as I was hoping. Oh yeah, I made that look easy. Again, not an easy line. Run a lot of trucks on that. This guy's just pretty damn good right out of the box. Can it do it? Can it crawl this? I think we're about to hit lipo cutoff, so it's going to have to crawl it. Well, it didn't crawl it on that attempt, so our battery's dead. Ah, come on. Don't get me there and give up. All right, she made it over the top. All right, cool. Well, guys, I hope this sounds exciting because that's what's coming for 2024. I appreciate you guys watching. Myself and Sydney appreciate you guys watching because, you know, it's actually her channel anyways. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. I will leave links down below where you can pick up parts similar to this and build your own badass custom rig. Thank you guys one more time. We will see you in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.